What's up, everybody? You're very welcome along to this Mohamed Salah special Anfield agenda video. So look, the news broke today that it looks like Mohamed Salah is being offered what I would class as derisory 15% wage increase from Liverpool Football Club. At least as per James Pearce, as you can see on the screen there now, it says Mohamed Salah will look for Premier League move next season if no contract is agreed. Offered 15% increase, wants to be the 6th highest paid player in the world. And again, that comes via James Pearce of The Athletic. Now, there's a couple of ways to look at this. We can look at it from a form perspective. We can look at it from a historical perspective. We can look at it from maybe a future performance perspective. But either way, I've been one of maybe the more critical people towards Mohamed Salah over his form for the second half of the season. But to hear the news that he's potentially being offered a 15% pay increase, quite frankly, it's disrespectful from the football club, and it's derisory to say the least. We'd seen numbers thrown around that were suggesting Mohamed Salah was asking maybe 400 to 500 grand a week. And we maybe naively as fans thought, well, maybe he'll settle on 350 grand a week. But if you were to say to me that Mohamed Salah was being offered, 220, 230 grand a week as his increase, as his thank you and his reward for the time he's been at the club, the records that he set, the trophies that he's helped us to win. And I say help because he's part of a group, part of a squad. And then you touch on maybe what Sadio Mane was looking for. And I believe there was numbers put out there today to say that he was asking for just shy, I believe, of 400 grand a week. And that at Bayern Munich, he will likely earn maybe 320 grand a week. Now, that's astronomical and it's ridiculous. But if there was one man who we were willing and should be willing to break our wage structure for, it's Mo. And I understand that I've been somebody who's been highly critical of him for the second half of the season. And I stand over that. But even allowing for all of that, Mohamed Salah is worth minimum 300 grand a week. Minimum. In anyone's reckoning. I just don't understand what the club's goal is here. So we're going to lose Sadio Mane. We're probably going to lose him for half of his market value because of the contractual situation with 1 year to go. So I say market value, I mean if he had 2-3 years to go. Now we get the news that not only is it a derisory offer that is being put to Mohamed Salah from our owners, from the club, but that we may well lose him to a Premier League rival at the end of the season if a deal cannot be agreed to keep him at the football club. So, what does this mean for us going into a new season? Are we going to have a player on our hands who, while still will be fully professional, will know that maybe his future doesn't lie with Liverpool Football Club? Or will we see a player who is on a mission to prove doubters wrong, which he's done many times? He done coming back to the Premier League when he came to Liverpool from Roma and, showed Chelsea what they could have had. Whatever way you look at this, off the back of a Champions League final defeat, a heartbreaking defeat for Klopp and the lads and for all of us fans, to, a very, very good Real Madrid team, fair play to them. But you break this news after the Sadio Mane news, after the news that we lost out on, or are likely to lose out on, Arlian Tchouameni, that Jude Bellingham won't be available or certainly hasn't any intentions to move before next summer. And you start to look at Liverpool's future and it becomes a little bit less clear. So continuity is something I'm always a fan of. I'm always a fan of keeping and rewarding players who have done well. And there's been some talk that maybe the club could maybe try Mo down to a 2-year deal. If they tie him down to a 2-year deal, still better than nothing. But whatever way we try and paint this picture, I'm absolutely gobsmacked to hear of a 15% increase. Even if you are like me and you think Mohamed Salah's second half of the season has been nowhere near good enough, nowhere near the levels we know he's capable of, that is a ridiculous offer from FSG to a player who has helped deliver an era of success that many Liverpool fans haven't seen. And yes, when I say era of success, I'm well aware I'm going to get people coming in and talking about the fact we've won one of everything. It's still one of everything. It's one Premier League. It's a European Cup. It's a Super Cup. It's a Club World Cup. It's an FA Cup. It's a Carabao Cup. Their trophies, their days out at Wembley, and their images that the club will use to sell the brand around the world. And Mohamed Salah's been a huge part of that. So, for all the faux pas that we've had from our owners, the Super League stuff, the ticketing prices, the furloughing of staff, you don't need me to remind you of them all. We've always understood that they were smart business people. But this, to me, and this is just my opinion, feels beyond smart, beyond trying to be clever. This is, quite frankly, insulting to Mohamed Salah and to Sadio Mane and to maybe future players who are looking to have their wages put on parity with what they could earn elsewhere. And I fully believe that Mo and Sadio may have been willing to take somewhat reduced terms from what they could have maybe got at PSG, Real Madrid, other top European clubs, Manchester United, who pay huge money, who can pay huge money. And we know that we've always had that trifecta between the club, the manager, the fans, the players, that bond. And it's been used to sell to players as well. But it works both ways. The club can't continuously expect buy-in from fans, from new fans from around the world, and tell us that contracts are incentivised and the players will be rewarded if they achieve. These players have achieved everything. So if FSG are really serious about tying down our top stars and pushing the club on, because let's be frank here, we weren't in the conversation for Mbappe, not seriously. You know, there was the platitudes of, oh, well, let's make an inquiry. But we were never really going to pay that money. We weren't in the conversation for Erling Haaland when he left Dortmund to go to Manchester City. We've been told that there will always be money available for a generational signing. And yet here we are, disrespecting two players who have been not only mainstays in this starting 11, not only consistently fit and available, not only amazing brands and, I suppose, figureheads for their countries and our football club, but now we're almost at a point where we're insulting these guys. And, you know, normally I would take a lot of these things with a pinch of salt, but when you see The Athletic reporting the numbers, they're a good publication. James Pearce has been around the beat long enough to be able to decipher what's true and what isn't. And I genuinely, folks, I'm absolutely flabbergasted by these numbers. And I don't blame Mo for not signing. I wouldn't do it in his position. And yeah, it's easy for us to sit here and, you know, talk about money that we'll never see each week, or still 150 grand or 200 grand a week's a lot of money. It is. But market forces would indicate that his value is a lot higher. We know his value is a lot higher. We've gone from maybe Mohamed Salah wanting to be the highest paid player in the Premier League, according to reports, to now wanting to be the 6th highest paid player in world football. And there's an argument that he should be amongst that bracket. Certainly top 10 highest paid players in world football. But again, I'd love to know your opinion, Reds, on this 15% increase. Meaning, if Mohamed Salah was on 200 grand a week, that they're offering him an increase of 30 grand a week. 230 is that's what you get for your years of service. That's what you get for putting up numbers and assists and goals and golden boots and being part of a winning team. Doesn't seem right to me. So as much as I stand over every comment I've made about his form being nowhere near good enough for his standards in the second half of the season, I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked by the numbers, and I'm almost lost for words, folks. I'm genuinely annoyed by this, and I'm annoyed that the club have once again allowed us to go from a position where at the end of the season everybody was flying. You know, we were 2 games away from a quadruple, and you lose it out on these things. That can happen. That can happen when you play Madrid in the Champions League final and you're hoping for a favour from somebody to take points off City. It was always entirely possible. But we could have capitalised. We could have kept the good vibes moving forward. And now we're scrambling around trying to find a midfielder, trying to find replacements. And quite frankly, I'm worried. I'm worried. But, as always, whatever happens, we will be getting behind Klopp and the lads and the new season kicks off. The window opens June the 10th, closes September the 1st, so there is plenty of time for the club to act. But we do know Jurgen Klopp likes to act quickly and likes to get players in before pre-season. The Premier League kicks off the first weekend in August because of obviously the World Cup being making the season a little bit drawn out. So we're kicking off a week early. So let me know your thoughts. What should the club do with Mohamed Salah? Who should the club look to bring in to replace the outgoing Sadio Mane? And Divock Origi, I should add. But ultimately, I want to know if you're as annoyed at me by these numbers, because it's indefensible as far as I'm concerned. As always, appreciate your time. Do hit that subscribe button for me, my friends. Drop a like on the video. And most importantly, do let me know your opinions in the comment section. Thank you very much. Talk to you soon. Up the Reds.